Hi, welcome to Rate My Gadget, and I'm going to be checking out the Apple Series 10 watch, so the latest watch that was released here in the UK in September, and I'll be letting you know why you shouldn't buy it, and that's right, why you shouldn't buy it. None of this is paid promotion by any company, including Apple, so this is all my own view, having used the watch for up to about 3 months. So let's see what it's all about. So just to inform you, it comes in very different varieties. So you've got a 42 up to a 46 millimeter screen, and you have two types, an aluminium case and a titanium case. Now from the look of it, apart from the size, it's very difficult to tell the difference between them. The aluminium, if you go for the cheapest, the aluminium 42mm goes for roughly about £480. Whereas you can go up to the 46mm titanium, which is a whopping £1,100 roughly. Okay. All those watches, the easiest way to have a look at all of them are on Amazon, and our links are in the comments. But the only difference, as well as the metal between them, the aluminium and the titanium, is that the aluminium is made from an Ion X screen, and the titanium is made from a sapphire crystal screen. Now both of them can come with the same 1-year warranty. However, they do sell that the Ion X is less durable than the sapphire crystal, but you are paying for it. You're paying over double the price for that screen. If I look at the design, the Series 10, all of them have that chamfered square look. Square chamfering on the side has two buttons. It has the rotary dial at the top right, which is also a press button, and then it has a flush button bottom right. So they act as a kind of almost like a going forward and backwards. So if you click on the rotary button, you go into the apps or whatever functionality you want. If you click the flush bottom button, it goes back. However, we did notice in some instances, depending on where you wear it on your wrist, that bending your wrist can unintentionally make you press the button and frustratingly hold down the button, which then activates the Apple Siri, which means it starts picking up your voice. So it can, if you're driving, we found, for example, and you have your wrist bent and you're holding the button down, then you'll find that as you're talking or any background volume, it will pick up on that and potentially action it as well. We had found, frustratingly, that in this way it was starting to make phone calls and starting to change music, for example. The design-wise is quite nice. I quite like the chamfered. It's clean. For me personally, I found it to be very comfortable to wear. The strap it comes with is a standard Apple strap, which is actually quite nice. And the good thing with the Series 10 is backwards compatible with other Apple watches. So that means that if you do want to buy a strap, you're not tied into Series 10 only. The watch comes with a charger. However, the charger is a USB-C. So if you're used to the normal USBs, that means you can't plug it into either the wall or normal USB plugs. So you have to end up buying a specialist plug. Now, this is going to be standard practice for most devices going over to USB-C. That does mean, however, anything that you've got on previous Apple products, such as the standard Apple chargers, will not work. All the watches in their series come with a WR50 water resistance, which theoretically goes up to 50 meters water resistance. However, they are not going to guarantee that, and therefore it's good for the likes of swimming, not deep sea diving. Also, it comes with an IP6X dust resistance rating, which is very good, which basically means that in any dusty environments, it's very unlikely that it will get into the mechanism. And actually, the Apple Watch is a completely closed unit, so you can't get into the watch, which is quite a good thing. However, if you are an owner of the likes of G-Shocks and you like those kind of watches, obviously that means that it's a fixed, you can't change the face or you can't do any maintenance yourself if you want to. In terms of the screen, like I said, you can get them in two versions, the Ion X and the Sapphire. However, there is a slight difference in the clarity of the screen, but by the visible eye, it's very difficult to pick up on. So if you go for the 42mm screen, which is smaller of the two, you'll get a 352 by 430 pixels. If, however, you go for the 46mm, you get a 396 by 484 pixels, so slightly better. However, In our test, we couldn't see the difference, even though we were testing the 42 and we did consider it against the 46, you didn't really notice the screen difference. The big thing that they sell on the Series 10 over the SE and other Apple Watches is the improved processor speed, which is meant to be 20% better. However, although the processor is improved, actually we didn't notice any difference really in the lag between the SE compared to the Series 10. The thing that it leads on within the industry is the functionality. As a smartwatch, you won't find many other competitors out there that have the broadness of what functionality the watch comes with. That functionality does link in with the Apple ecosystem, but to be honest, most people who are buying the Apple Watch are already converts to the likes of the Apple phones and maybe even other Apple systems like the Apple Mac or Apple TV. So if I list the functionality, you have GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular capability, so you can actually answer the phone if you want to. Why you'd want to, I don't know. It has NFC, which basically means that you can use Apple Pay through your watch. Ultra wideband UWB, and that basically means that Find My Device is a very precise GPS system for Apple users, which is or could be very useful, especially if you have a family environment where you may want to track each other. In terms of the functionality for fitness, also it leads the way. It has a heart rate monitor, it has a sleep monitor, it also has a fall detection system, which basically means that if a user has fallen over, you can ensure that it gives either an alert or even calls out, which can be useful if you feel you want to purchase this for other, maybe older users or people that potentially could be at risk. It also has a depth meter and a compass, both of which we haven't trialed. Now the Series 10, the step up from the other SE or other Apple Watches you can buy new on the market are the ECG, which basically detects if there's any heart flutter, which again, depending on the user, could be significant. And it also has blood oxygen levels and temperature. So it's starting to become a little bit more like your inbuilt doctor on your arm. The other thing as well is that the sleep monitor does come with a ability to track your snoring, inform you how often you're snoring, your deep sleep, all those kind of things. However, those additions, everything else prior to that is standard on all of the other Apple Watches you can buy brand new, including the SE one. Series 10 watch also has an always on screen, and the battery life is around about 18 hours, which we did test. Now, in terms of the positives and the negatives, and then I'll summarize. So the positive is, as I said, if you're built into the Apple ecosystem, the watch itself as a smartwatch is tremendous in terms of the functionality. It has pretty much everything that you'd want. You know, it even gives alerts in terms of if you haven't been standing for long enough or if you need to do more exercise, and linking in with the Apple Fitness Plus means that you've got a whole breadth of at-home workouts that you can do, and it can monitor you against, as well as your sleeping. And for those users where it could be important, the fall detection and the ECG, the heart flutter, could be useful. Its downside, and the big downside, is its cost. At the minimum you'll be paying £480. That is almost double of what the Series SE Apple Watch you can currently buy brand new at the likes of Amazon, John Lewis or Apple stores. If you start going towards a titanium and the sapphire crystal screen, you're talking £1,000. So that's almost 4 times more than the Series SE. And the Series SE gives you everything with exception of ECG, blood oxygen levels, temperature, and the snoring ability. And I think that's where the Series 10 lets itself down, in which I wouldn't purchase it. I'm going to get probably shot down by Apple converts and Apple lovers out there, but this feels like Apple putting a stamp on their brand new device, obviously putting out a titanium and a sapphire crystal option out there. However, unless you really look closely, you're not going to notice the tremendous difference. The design is exactly the same, near enough, unless you look for real fine details on the side in terms of the speaker. However, the Series 10 for me doesn't come with a functionality that's a big step up that makes it worth that price alone. Overall then, Series 10, most comprehensive Apple Watch you can buy on the market, a tremendous watch, and if you have the money, you can't go wrong. However, for the price, I would go to the Apple SE watch. Please, as always, do leave comment, do leave likes. We do really appreciate it, and do subscribe. Any comments we will try and answer or consider. But thanks for watching.